Today we're going to take you on a journey to discover the future of age tech. Now, why should you care? I've got 3 good reasons. Number 1, we're going to meet with the AARP, and you're going to see how startups and VCs are starting to take interest in this space. Number 2, we're going to show you how solutions matter, and they matter a lot in this space. We're going to go deep dive a company called Camino Mobility and show how their technology is changing people's lives. And number 3, we're going to talk about new enabling breakthroughs. Specifically, we're going to talk to Infineon about their new Edge AI and how they're putting LLMs on the edge. But before we get started, I want to share something we learned together during this video. There's a myth out there that the elderly community doesn't like technology. That is not true. We found they love technology, and you'll see that in the video. What we also learned, though, is they're very discerning. They're like a food critic. They know what they love, but they will not accept half-baked solutions. I'm Adrian Mikołajczyk, and I love my job. At Infineon Technologies, I get to go behind the scenes and see new, upcoming technologies, not yet public, that could impact your future. So let's get started.
So for the last 60 years, more than 60 years, AARP has been focused and advocating for the 50-plus population. Aging is really difficult, and so we want to make aging easier. And technology can get us there. So we set up the AgeTech Collaborative. This is a list of all the companies we have in the AgeTech Collaborative. We now have almost 600 companies. The bedrock of the collaborative, it's an ecosystem, is the startups. But we've surrounded them with venture capital firms. And then companies that want to offer test bed piloting opportunities for these startups. So it's all about, after they finish our accelerator program, they get to meet all these people that are in the collaborative that can further them along as well. So we're in this room that we're calling Aging in Action, and it's essentially a way for us to kind of show a handful of our startups because we have over 200 startups. I'm looking for solutions across many different sectors that can help people who are aging, because there's a lot of problems. It's about living, but you're maybe slower, or there's chronic conditions, or you need some more help than you did before. This is a toilet seat that can actually do some biometric testing while you're using the toilet. Almost 80% of older Americans are using technology in some form. The problem is that cognitively, as you get older, things take longer. User design then becomes very important, because what we want to do is, yes, technology will get more complicated, but really, ideally, the user experience is still simple.
Asbury Methodist Village is a beautiful 134-acre continued care retirement community that is comprised of residential living, assisted living, and a 5-star skilled nursing facility. We're proud to host the AARP Tech Collaborative Lab.
This is our living lab, and it's a place where folks can come and not only see a living option here at Asbury, but they can check out some of the technology.
Anyone that tours through can fill out a postcard to provide feedback on the equipment. Those surveys are all compiled, and then they're given back to the startup companies.
So this is the Lotus Ring, and you can use it to control different things around the house.
I'm a magician.
Our residents love to do the demonstrations, and they love to provide feedback, and they really believe that they're really assisting all these startup companies.
Most of these things I think are good starts. I don't think they're really where they actually could be today. There's more artificial intelligence available than they are using.
Within a few minutes, and normally it's within around 5 minutes.
Part of my concern would be the cost of it. I'm not sure I want to pay for a monthly subscription. We personally don't use a lot of technology. We have a problem with standardization. We are on different platforms, and I'm the maintenance guy for all the platforms, and I'm tired of that. Part of the problem with general machines is that the more things they can do, the more decisions you have to make to tell it what you want.
If I was talking to a startup about what they were building something, I would tell them that they have to make sure that the user design is simple for the user. We think technology can solve a lot of problems and gaps that we currently see in caregiving and people getting older, and solutions that kind of help them stay in the game. Honestly, at this point, I don't think anything but technology can get us there.
We said this technology matters a lot. So we went ahead and met up with the CEO of Camino Mobility to learn how their technology is changing lives.
So at Camino, we've reimagined the old school walker/rollator, reimagined it as a power assist device with embedded AI for health monitoring. The goal for Camino is, yes, to keep people moving. The more we give them the opportunity to get out of the house, for example, and allow people to not only move more, but stay active and social, which is a really important part of aging.
This rollator has been a lifesaver for me. It's got built-in technology that I hadn't seen in any other device that I've used since my stroke in 2020. I like the fact that it's so lightweight, and it helps me when I'm going on an incline to just kind of keep me going along. And when I hit a decline, I can feel it slightly pulling or braking.
We're actually running AI models live on the device, which for us means both obviously that it's got embedded AI in the device, but it also is providing actual insights that we can provide back to the user themselves, to their family members, care providers, and ultimately to healthcare systems is the goal. Those insights all centered around gait. So what you're seeing here is obviously left and right camera, and you're seeing what the AI is estimating in terms of the positions of those key points. If someone's gait changes, or their level of activity changes, or the speed of walking changes, they've not chosen to do that. That's a consequence of something going on. And so there's really strong associations between things like speed of walking and underlying conditions. A 4% increase in stride time variability doubles your risk of fall. So for us to be able to raise a red flag saying, oh, we're seeing an increase in variability, that's something that then someone can go take action on.
I should be moving more because I can walk, and I don't want to lose the ability that I have. I think it's important to exercise. This thing has an app, and on the app it tells me how far I've gone. It has a speed gauge which tells me how fast I'm going. That's really helpful because then I can set little personal goals. A half mile this time, I'll go a mile next time, a mile and a half next time.
Why do people stop ambulating when they get older? Decrease in strength, decrease in balance, decrease in stamina. So a solution that addresses that would be very helpful. But the problem is most of the solutions that offer that today are not things that people care to use. So if you can come up with a device that allows continued ambulation that doesn't have a stigma, that would be really helpful for the elderly to be able to use. I would buy one for my own parents who refuse to use walkers, but are okay using a fancy looking cane. Now, if you could take such a device and add technology to it that would also help me determine whether they're ambulating as much or they're at risk of falling in the future. What's the number one problem with elderly that are walking? They have a fall, they sustain a fracture, that has a very high secondary mortality rate and a significant morbidity rate. So if we can prevent that, that would be fantastic.
We set out to design something that looks familiar and that hides all the technology, right? The reason why this is possible now, a whole range of technologies have improved. Battery technologies, you can have a small battery that's going to power a device like this. You've got microprocessors that are widely available, but the big one is AI. We've worked very hard to get an AI model to work as what's called on the edge, so on a device that's disconnected. So we're not running the AI model in the cloud. The core AI model is being run on the device using a small battery and a relatively small computer. That progression in AI is making a big difference.
You've now seen multiple people talk about how AI will fundamentally enable this space. So as our last stop, we're going to go to Infineon and see their latest breakthroughs in the topic of edge AI.
It's very exciting right now, the next generation of machine learning. So we're moving maybe away from the previous generation of task-based neural networks towards more of a general sort of AI that's going to run on device with no need for internet connectivity or any sort of high compute power. So there's trade-offs, of course, in terms of the models you can deploy. So what's in the cloud or what's on your laptop is going to be a large model that knows a lot about the world. Whereas when we bring it to the edge, it's going to be a very task-specific model. So it's going to know what it knows and only what it knows, because that's all we can fit on these edge devices. It could be an agent that, for example, knows what good physio movements are, or what a good squat technique looks like, or what a healthy stride or gait looks like. But it won't know who's the president of Colombia. But it will know the context and a large amount of text data and visual data that's been trained on for a very specific task.
Today we are showing off our next generation of processors, a PSOC Edge, and this tiny device packs as much processing power as a laptop or a mobile phone, and it can do all the same AI tasks that a processor on mobile phones can do, but at a fraction of energy. We are talking about 100x less energy. Here we are showcasing that this AI application running on PSOC Edge, it can detect multiple people, draw a bounding box, but also can go and do deep analysis in terms of where those landmarks are. And with those landmarks, you can have a few different applications trying to track your pose, correct your pose. Something like this few years ago would not be possible running on a microcontroller. You can even run Face ID solutions while you're running something like this. You can run voice and image and sensor analytics together. We are working on bringing in language models. Language model brings in rich user experience. Large language models, they are trained with large data. So they're trying to learn plethora of information. But for a purpose-driven task, like interacting with your appliance or interacting with your everyday devices, you don't need to know all those tasks.
So the next generation of what we're working on is vision language models, or VLM. It's moving away from your traditional neural networks, which were task-based. Say, for example, a detector of horses. It would have seen a zebra enter the frame, and if it didn't have zebras in its data set marked as not horses, it would have said that's a horse. Whereas now we've added in the vision language models, it has that language aspect. So it's learned from a text corpus, what is a horse and what is a zebra, what makes them different. So it's not only now seeing from the frame that it looks like a horse and these are the colors, it can associate that with the text and say, no, that's a zebra.
So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of age tech. For more information, follow the links. Don't forget to like this video. Stay innovative.